Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
So on Friday after work, instead of going straight home, I started puttering and looking. And if you got it, and it starts with my, so go to my very first tweet there, where I refer to, so click on that tweet there. And then that'll give you the thread. Okay, so this is me on Friday night. What time did I do this? Just scroll down a tiny bit there. It doesn't quite say, it doesn't matter. Friday night. So I say, I just watched Superintendent Sinopolis' press conference here. He says he received an order from Davila, that's the public health officer, under the Health Protection Act to seize Adamson BBQ. But she has no such power under the law. She has to go to a judge to get an order. Did she? Now, can you click on that CP24 link there? And just, it's pretty quick in that video there. Yeah, pretty quick. And if there's some ads, we'll wait till they're over before putting it up there. So all this hullabaloo downtown, sorry, not downtown, in Etobicoke. And what's going on? Who's the boss? How did this happen? I don't know if people were asking the mayor and the police and the public health officer that question, or if the superintendent, his name is Sinopoli, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, seems like a really good cop, by the way. I mean, he's just got that cop feeling to him. And so he's coming to do a press conference to explain how it happened. And you just jump right in. Here, watch what he says.
Situation at Adamson BBQ. Let's go live to 22 Division.
Yesterday and today, as you're all aware, we were at Adamson's BBQ at 7 Queen Elizabeth Way. Last night, we received an order from Dr. Davila, essentially giving us power under the, or her power under the Health Protection Act to see.
So he accidentally called her justice because he's used to getting orders from judges. He's never gotten an order from a doctor before. Essentially giving us her power. Hang on, what's the word essentially? Either she did or she didn't. What does it mean, essentially? And he named the act, right? He said the Health Recovery Act or whatever he called it. So go back to my tweets here. We're going to take 10 minutes on this, folks. But I think you're going to end up with a lot of questions about the legal authority here. So if you go back to the tweet there, if you don't mind, Justin. So I start out by saying, I just watched Superintendent Sinopolis' press conference here, and I just played you that clip. He says he received an order from Dr. Davila. I don't even want to call her a doctor because she doesn't practice medicine. She practices politics. She just happens to have an MD. Under the Health Protection Act, that was the law he cited, to seize the BBQ. But she has no such power under the law. She has to go to a judge to get an order. Did she? Okay, scroll down. Let's go to the next tweet. I did about 10 tweets in a row. To be accurate, Superintendent Sinopolis said Davila, quote, essentially gave us her power under the act. What does that mean? Can we see this so-called order? Is Davila a judge now? Since when do hand-picked health bureaucrats of the mayor's office order police to do things? What the hell? Here's a copy of the Health Protection Act. Police are mentioned in only 2 cases, arresting a typhoid Mary type super spreader under Section 35 and having access to a locked premises under Section 43. Neither apply to your 100 cop SWAT style rate. That's what we went through on Friday. Let's keep going. Even if you used those 2 sections, Davila does not have that power. She has to go to a real court to ask the judge for a warrant. Only a judge can then direct the police to enforce her will. And then I'm writing to the cops here. I'm saying, did you in fact go to court? Again, can we see this order, please? Next one. Who made the decision to send in all the king's horses and all the king's men? Was that an operational decision made by Toronto Police, or was that a political spectacle ordered by Davila or John Tory, the mayor? On what operational grounds do you justify such a shocking display? And we learned the answer to that from Joe Warmington. They were hired hands, not on the Toronto police payroll. They were hired by the mayor's office as his personal detail. 6, under what legal authority does an unelected, unaccountable public health bureaucrat, not a policeman, not a judge, command the largest police force in Canada to roll out the riot squad? What is your legal basis for listening to a bureaucrat's unilateral orders? Like, seriously, she just has this street team now, eh? This photo taken by Joe Warmington appears to show the legal basis for shutting down Adamson's BBQ, a Section 13 health order. You want to click on that and really blow it up as big as you can. So I looked at this. Can you look at it there? It's a Section 13 public health order. You see that? And it's signed by Davila. Okay, shrink it down. Let's go to the next one. You can read Section 13 for yourself here. Read Section 14 too, though. It outlines what the government can do if someone like Adam Skelly simply refuses to comply with the order. Now, as you can see, I take little screenshots of them in the next tweet. I say, here is the full list. This is, I think, the most important tweet. This is the full list of things that the health boss, Davila, can do under the law. You'll notice the word police is nowhere in there. Neither is riot police or police horses. So click on this. I think I took 4 screenshots. Can you pump that up just a tiny bit? So this is the law. Thanks. So this is the law that was listed on the door for the order closing the place. So Justin's just taking a second for something here. Is there a problem with the tweet, or is just you got a computer issue? Oh, you got to do it a different way. All right, I'll hold my horses. I just want to make it slightly bigger for my eyes and for your eyes. I probably need to get a stronger prescription, frankly. Yeah, thanks, Justin. So this is from the law that Davila used to order this place closed. Directions by medical officer of health. So that's Davila. A medical officer of health, in the circumstances specified in subsection 2, that's right next. That's the next one, may give directions in accordance with subsection 3 to the persons whose services are engaged by or to agents of the Board of Health of the health unit served by the medical officer of health. Let me cut through the gobbledygook and say that in plain language. This section 14 says who Davila can order to do things and on what basis. But notice to whom? Not to the police, just to agents of the Board of Health. The Toronto Police Service does not work for the Board of Health, much as she may wish they do. Neither does the Army, Air Force, or Navy, just in case you were thinking of deploying them against the smoke meat restaurant too. Okay, so subsection 2, when the medical officer of health may give directions. A medical officer of health may give directions to her staff in accordance with subsection 3, we'll get there, where the medical officer of health is of the opinion, upon reasonable and probable grounds, that a health hazard exists in the health unit and the person to whom an order is or would be directed under section 13, A, has refused to or is not complying with the order, B, is not likely to comply with the order promptly, C, cannot be readily identified or located, and as a result the order would not be carried out promptly. And can we go to the next, Justin's pumping it up really big on the screen so we can all read it together. So what am I doing here? I'm showing you, or D, request the assistance of the medical officer of health in eliminating or decreasing the effect of the health hazard. Let's keep reading. Contents of directions. Under this section, a medical officer of health may direct the persons whose services are engaged by or the agents of the board. That's so important. It's not the police, it's her own staff, to take such action as is specified in the directions in respect of eliminating or decreasing the health hazard. Directions under this section, and this is so important, because so we just talked about who can do it, who she can order to do it, the grounds on which she can order, and here's what she can do. Let me show you what she can do. So let's say Davila is being ordered by the mayor to crush Adam Skelly and Adamson's barbecue, because she was. So much so that the city hall put out a bizarre press release saying the mayor doesn't call the shots. He obviously does. So let's say Davila has been told by John Tory, crush this man. All right. And let's say she says, well, something's wrong there. I'm going to use the powers I have in section 13 and 14. So the first thing we learn is that she does not have the power to command the police. Of course not. She's not a police chief. She's not a police commission. She's a hand-picked assistant to the mayor. Pretty cool. I mean, she makes over $300,000 a year. Nice job if you can get it. But she's not the police chief. She has staff, but the Toronto Police Service is not her staff. And we know this because the police are mentioned by name elsewhere in this same law, and she has to go to court to get an order to get them to do just those two things, catch a typhoid Mary or open up an obstruction. Those are the only two things she can get the cops to do. So let's say Davila is ordered by John Tory to do something. Let's say she says she has the grounds. She can order her staff to do what? To do what? Well, let's list. To arrest a man and throw him in jail? To do what? A, authorizing and requiring the placarding of premises specified in the directions to give notice of the existence of a health hazard or an order. So we saw that. So they put a little placard in the window. All right. So she did that. Where's the part about arresting a guy, grabbing him? B, requiring the doing of work specified in the directions in, on, or about any premises. Requiring the removal of anything the directions state is a health hazard from premises. So that's if you've got some, poisonous thing. I'm just going to make up an example, a dog with rabies. D, requiring the detention of a person? The detention of Adam Skelly? No. The detention of any matter or thing removed from any premises. So that would be like some infectious, dead goat with maggots in it. I'm making up a gross example. That's what they mean by a thing. E, requiring the cleaning or disinfecting of, or both, of the premises. F, requiring the destruction of anything specified in the directions. And that is it. I just read you the 6 things she can do under the Act. Those are the 6 things she can do. Not with the police, with her own staff. Okay, so she put up a placard. Where's seize a business in there? Do you see it? Where's kidnap a businessman, put him in a police van, take him to police station and detain him overnight? Did you see that part? I didn't see that part. Okay, go back to my tweets if you would be so kind, Justin. Do you see what I'm saying? You have 100 cops, 4 horses, 50 vehicles, big hullabaloo. The mayor's doing a shock and awe. Number one, you find out they're not actually being directed by Toronto Police. They're hired gang, really, hired security by the mayor. Number 2, we find out what the actual order was. We saw it on the door. We looked at the law. She doesn't have the power to arrest a man. Of course not. She's just some politician. She's a health politician. Even if she went to court, she could only arrest a typhoid Mary situation or break into a place only with a court order using police. Otherwise, she has no access to police. What she can do, the 6 things we just outlined, were put up placards. If there's something infectious, clean it, remove it. No one is alleging that the smoked meat was infected. No one's alleging that. Basically, Davila can put up signs, disinfect things, and take away infected things. This is what you'd use if you found, say, a house with a bunch of rats in it with rabies. There's nothing in the law about police or raiding a men's restaurant and seizing it or arresting him. If there is a source of authority I'm missing, let me know. Toronto Police Operations, Toronto Police, John Tory, James Raymer, TPS, that's his police chief. But Superintendent Sinopoli clearly said it was an order under the Health Protection Act. I simply don't believe that such an order exists, or if it does, that it's valid. Unless there's another source of authority for this raid, it is illegal. It is beyond the power of a health bureaucrat to order the police to do anything. And it is illegal for the police to take invalid orders from any bureaucrat or politician. The Health Protection Act specifically requires health bureaucrats to go to a judge to get a warrant. If she skipped that because she didn't want to go through due process and just wanted an immediate political show of force, that's abuse of process and abuse of office. There's clearly massive political pressure on the police to do something, anything, so much so that someone who in the city felt compelled to put out a press release scolding the mayor for ordering the police to do his errands. I'm not going to read it, but that's the layer chiding the mayor. Was yesterday's 6 a.m. police raid and door locking, in fact, an act of trespass and mischief by the police, doing an illegal political errand under the color of law? Was their arrest of Adam Skelly, in fact, an assault and false arrest and false imprisonment? I don't know. Perhaps Superintendent Sinopoli can release a copy of the order that he received from not a judge, but from the mayor's handpicked health bureaucrat. The miraculous order that saw the biggest police operation since the G20. I mean, if it's legit, we can see it, right? Thanks for going through those, Justin. Do you see my point? I mean, we live in a country where we don't have secret orders. Very rarely there is a secret order. Often it's involving a minor child to protect their identity. In some extreme cases, for example, if there was a sex crime, to protect the identity of the victim. There are some very time-limited secret orders where catching a criminal by surprise is, like, for example, some forms of search and seizure warrants. I just forgot the name. It's been so long since I've been in law school. There was a kind of warrant that was invented when there was a ship that was about to sail. And I think Anton Pillar, there you go. You want to Google ANTONPILLAR? Anton Pillar order. Look at that. It's coming back from, it's been 30 years since law school, 25 years since law school, and it's coming back to me. There are some orders you can get secretly, but the secrecy ends very quickly on them. Was this a secret order? Was it an order at all? Anton Pillar. An Anton Pillar order is a form of civil search warrant that dispenses with the normal rules on discovery of records. It enables the applicant to attend the premises of the defendant without notice and take possession of the records of the defendant. Thanks very much. So basically, there are a few extreme instances where you can do a sneaky attack on someone. Anton Pillar order. But that's not what was alleged here. What was alleged is that it was under a particular act. I forget the name, of Health Recovery Act or whatever. Can I see the order, please? It's not secret, is it? You wouldn't have made that whole thing up, would you? You didn't just arrest a man because the mayor's assistant told you to, did you? And you didn't do all that as hired private security as opposed to following your police chief, did you? And the fact that you've spent $1 million on this shock and awe, and it's still the most locked down. I mean, Hell's Angels, they never have to worry about this. Antifa railway blockaders, they never have to worry about any of this. The gun gangs in Toronto, worst gun shooting year in history in Toronto, they don't have to worry about this, but my God, you want to smoke some meat and serve some sandwiches, you're going to have the full wrath of City Hall. You didn't make up this whole order, did you? You're not furiously trying to find a legal justification for literally, well, if police arrest a guy and throw him in the clink without proper cause, that is tantamount to kidnapping. We generally don't use that word. We say the word false imprisonment because we don't want to impute to the police an actual crime. But who's commanding the police? You know, if John Tory's medical assistant came to the cops and said, I order you, or as Superintendent Sinopoli said, I essentially order you. Hang on, you do or you don't? Are you essentially pregnant, or you pregnant or not? Did you catch your flight? I don't mean you essentially caught it. You did or you did not. There are certain things that are on or off, yes or no. It's not a spectrum. Did you catch your plane or not? Are you pregnant or not? Did you order the cops to do this or not? If so, can I see the order? Or was it some phone call? Did you seriously pick up the phone and command 100 cops? And under what authority? And that's super gross, but let's say you're a grown-up, like Superintendent Sinopoli is and his police chief is, and you get some phone call from some hopped-up political errand girl for the mayor who says, I want to command this many divisions, and I want all hands on deck, and pull the riot horses out of the stables, and can I get the chopper, and maybe let's borrow a tank from Canadian Forces. That's where you say, now there, you and the mayor go back to Yorkville and have some fancy lattes and leave the policing to the police, sister. You want to tell us to do something? Get a court order. So it's crazy and kooky and embarrassing that Davila and Tory would act this way. But what's the police chief and the superintendent saying? Okay. I mean, she's a health officer. Her powers are limited. I just showed you. She can put up placards. She can disinfect things. She can grab things that are like infectious. I don't know, like if there was like a dead animal that had rabies or something. That's about it for her powers. She does not have the power to take command of Canada's largest municipal police force. That is not the case. That's an excerpt from my daily TV show that I do live at 12 noon Eastern Time. We talk about the news of the day, we play interesting viral videos, and most importantly, I take your questions that you chat to me through YouTube Super Chat. I think that's the funnest part of it. So tune in every weekday at 12 noon Eastern Time, only here at rebelnews.com.